We talked to Mr. Beast this morning. So you're walking and I'm just fiddling around with my film camera, new hobby, and I just hear a and I just peep over my shoulder because I'm scared about who's behind me all the time. Well, I have to look up a little bit. I have to look up a little bit because he's tall. And he's tall because he's Mr. YouTube.
Oh,
Mr. Beast.
Oh, Mr. Beast.
It's Mr. Beast right behind me as we're walking out of the parking lot. There's nobody around. Welcome back to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about entrepreneurship, we talk about self-development, we talk about challenging norms. We're coming at you live from UCLA.
Two best buddies talking business.
Oh, we're trying that one out still. You're farting with it too. Watch us on YouTube because we're coming at you live from UCLA. We're sitting on UCLA's main green. This is after our drive yesterday. We are officially at the All-In Summit.
Right.
And let me tell you, I am beat down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so beat down. I don't know where we want to take this episode.
Okay, so we did a summit last year, All-In Summit.
So fun.
Peak hype. We were important people. We made videos for Sachs, David Sachs of the All-In podcast. He shared them. Everyone loved Henry Belcaster and whoever the hell that Mexican kid was with him. And we had a good time. We loved it. We knew exactly what we were going to get.
We were part of the lore. So fun.
Come here, it's different. It's a year later. No longer part of the lore. No longer really youthful.
No, dude.
It's felt like we're kind of the kids that think they're too cool for things and just shit on everything and sit in the back of the room and just eat snacks and play on their phones. I don't know if that's good.
Well, I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking, so we've been sitting in talks all morning, and then we should probably tell them what happened last night, because that was ridiculous. I think confirmation bias should be a law of the universe. And by law of the universe, I mean a law of physics. You coming through all right?
Yeah.
You forgot to do the chimpanzee audio?
I forgot to do chimpanzee.
Because it is a black screen.
Right.
Well,
law of physics,
it's bright outside because we're in sunny Southern California. I got a lot of confirmation bias.
Yeah.
Because here's what I told you coming into this event. Why would I go to LA to sit in a room all day to watch talks that they're going to release on video in higher production value post-summit?
Right.
That's what I told you.
Thousands of dollars.
Thousands of them. When I said to you, all I have to do is writ. That is this season of the podcast. All I have to do is writ.
Right. Right and right.
So I get here. Yeah.
It's right and right. Dude.
Yes.
Two different forms.
I get here and wait, who? Okay. Yeah. Let me just, for my confirmation bias point, it's just like an SNL sketch. Sketch? We're sketching on a truck.
Might as well.
Sketching. Get on our skateboard and sketch on that bus right there.
Wow, dude.
It's like one big SNL skit. I was sitting there like, I can't believe that these 2,000 people just sit here and listen to these guys blow smoke on stage. It's crazy to me.
Well, that's not why you're here.
Nope.
So you need an excuse to blow smoke.
Okay.
It's like the old people that go in the cigar rooms. You want to puff around your boys. Everyone's here just trying to find their squad, their clique. So it's networking. That's why you're here. You're not here for the talks.
Okay.
That's the excuse.
I came for the talks, actually.
Right. That's the problem. So we do, last night, get to our first networking event, which we've bought clothes for because we don't have
anything.
Nothing, really.
You tell me it's a James Bond themed party. I don't even have a pair of dress shoes.
Nothing. Jeans, some Chelsea boots, and a turtleneck is what we
Oh, and if I could just string the people along, we talked to Mr. Beast this morning, so we're going to get to that.
Oh.
But you should just continue.
Talk to him to stretch, but yeah.
String him along.
Right, so...
String him along.
So it's a cool event, like, Mr. Beast is going to talk tomorrow.
Yep.
Elon Musk talked today,
foreshadow.
That's a foreshadow. We're doing a two-parter, so they say. Who other list is going to go on for more? Shopify founder, Coinbase founder.
Ray Dalio. This woman from Peak 6.
We're going to talk about breaking down a couple of those.
This one was actually pretty good. The guy who did the Lord of the Rings or Star Wars as if it was Wes Anderson. He did that AI trailer.
Yeah.
That was actually one of my favorites.
And our video kicked it off, which we got takes on too. But point of all that is, what's the point? Well, we got all dressed up. We came for the talks. We didn't come for the networking, which, it'd be smart because we could probably sell a couple more clients, maybe meet some interesting people. Granted, they're all 50 years old, but that's fine. We get to the event last night, which we bought clothes for.
Bought them.
Left within 10 to 15 minutes.
we show up. We turned the light food into heavy.
Right.
A heavy dinner.
That was dinner.
I got 2 gelatos, and then we were doing a lap, and we grazed past the front door, and you said what everyone was thinking.
Right.
You turned to me, and you said, should we just go?
The issue was, before we even got there, we were really tired because we just went shopping to buy clothes for this. We had a whole day out in Santa Barbara. You probably listened to the pod.
Yep.
And right before we left, I'm like, Belky, we don't have to do this. And you're like, dude, I do not need convincing. So we were already starting at a low. We tried to play some music in the car. I couldn't really get behind it.
I pumped myself up.
I
pumped myself up because, as you've been saying, we were here to network.
Right.
And so I really made sure to pump myself up. And then a light, heavy dinner later and 2 gelatos, gelato.
Right.
And you smashed a crepe, dude. I was walking around. People were coming to say hi and whatnot, shaking people's hands. And I'd just be like, this is my business partner, Dylan. And you'd just be like, with chocolate all over your face.
I'd like have to give him a wrist pound because I had chocolate all over my fingers and my face.
It's like my child.
But that was sick. I just hide behind you. But really, I was hoping we'd just close one deal and it makes everything worth it because we have such a high ROI for editors. Granted, you usually have to talk to people. Like Brad Gerstner's team wants to work with us, but
didn't have to talk to him.
I mean, yeah, we can just do that on the phone at home. But that's fine, dude. I don't want to shit on networking, but I do want to say, coming into today, so we left that event. We didn't do anything. We talked to no one.
We were there. We left so early, they hadn't yet set up for people to leave.
Right, there was no exit.
There was no exit.
They're like, I guess you can go through the entrance.
Yeah.
So we leave, and we're optimistic about today. There's a lot of cool speakers.
The most optimistic.
We get up on time. I started the day with blood all over myself because I somehow cut my finger. But that's fine, dude.
Oh, that was actually blood?
That was blood.
I thought that was your smoothie.
Yeah, my finger. I cut my finger.
Oh, shit.
Fucking blood all over me.
Oh, okay.
And I'm all in white if you're not watching on YouTube. So that's fine. We get here. We're stoked. And I'm just like, there's a small gap in the day where I can talk to people on the East Coast. Otherwise, I'm just off the grid, supposedly. And I'm talking to my girl. My girl.
My girl.
And
the Temptations, right?
We're walking to Royce Hall at UCLA, and out of nowhere, we both hear a noise. You hear it first.
Guttural.
I'm locked in. So maybe you describe the guttural.
So you're walking, and I'm just fiddling around with my film camera, new hobby, taking film photos, super fun in the LA sun. And I just hear a
Wookiee.
A Wookiee. There's a Wookiee. And I just peep over my shoulder because I'm scared about who's behind me all the time. And who do I see? Well, I have to look up a little bit. I have to look up a little bit because he's tall. And he's tall because he's Mr. YouTube.
Oh.
Mr. Beast.
Oh, Mr. Beast.
It's Mr. Beast right behind me as we're walking out of the parking lot. There's nobody around. Oh. And split second, I have to rack my brain. I'm like, I can't call him Mr. Beast. Do I do a sales pitch? Do I say I'm a big fan? That's your go-to.
That would have been my go-to, but I was in the zone.
And I triple take.
Whoa.
Third time. Oh, hey, Jimmy. He said, hey.
Whoa.
On our way.
Whoa, hey.
Dude, that was it.
We met him.
It happened so fast. We met him. It happened so fast, the adrenaline didn't even kick in. So I guess I was able to clearly think of his name. Mm-hmm. It was weird. I went Mr. Beast, and then I was like, Donaldson. Hey, Jimmy. So I got really lucky. He's really tall, and that's how we became friends with Mr. Beast.
Events. Well, the cool thing is, Mr. Beast, we don't quite know him yet, but another guy here on the VIP list, he paid a lot of money, is Mr. Mark Manson.
Oh, Mark Manson.
And really, we chalked it up to a W if all we do is meet with Mark and just hang out, which we could do anytime, but it's a good excuse to get out here, hang out in LA. Granted, he wants to hang out at the dinner for VIPs, which we're not a part of because I guess our video is not good enough.
I'm like, where will you be today? He's like, yeah, I'm here. I'll just probably see you at the dinner.
Right.
Like, no, you won't. You won't. Because we're general admission.
Yellow, dude.
We got yellow badges, and yours is orange.
That's fine, though.
That's fine.
Because I'm happy. I'm happy with how the day's going. Started off with Mr. Beast, Jimmy Donaldson, and so we get in, and now it's a classic conference.
Classic.
Right? We don't go there for the networking. We just show up, grab some snacks, head into the
Which
auditorium.
I like. You said it was going to be kind of fun. Like, I actually really enjoyed this last year. It's kind of like being a college student again.
Yeah.
You just sit in this nice lecture hall, and you just watch what people have to say all day.
I thought I was going to like it. I didn't like it.
I didn't like it one bit.
No. College really sucks. Terrible format.
Well, immediately, I was just like, they're blowing smoke.
Who's blowing smoke?
All of them.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so Ray Dalio kicks off the event. Oh, actually, we kick off the event.
Yes, we did.
Let me say that, dude.
That got my panties in a bunch because
right.
Immediately they start playing our trailer, which is so good. And they've only got like half the audio pumping through. It's just the high end. And I guess it'll probably be released later on, but half the trailer is low end. Half the sound is usually low end. The bass
and
frequencies.
It's overall just quiet.
It's overall just quiet.
This needs to be IMAX 3D.
Yeah. It was a trailer. The piece was inspired by the Oppenheimer trailer.
Right, which is all audio.
And they're just playing high end.
Ugh.
It nailed its beats. The crowd loved, the second half. I was just really I was sitting there thinking like, God damn, really should have just like gone to sound check and then been like, I wish I could have pulled like the Mr. Beast, which is just like, we're not playing this trailer like this.
Mm.
We're just not. It needs to be shaking the room. What is this, the speakers from the projector?
Right. It was projector speakers, which is a bummer. One thing I noticed too, like, it's good if you have those like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, yeah.
Because it just like started and people didn't really know what was going on until like 15 seconds in.
Or someone to announce it, when they say like,
just
keep your seatbelt fastened
right away.
And your arms and legs in the vehicle and the tray table's up and the cell phone's off.
But we're not here to bitch about that.
No.
It is interesting seeing like, you got to kind of think of where the beats will be for where people like, I didn't expect them to clap with Chamath getting married, which you could predict, but I just didn't. And then like no one hears what happens next. We had like the fake ending, kind of like what David Dobrik used to do. It was like, here's the ending, but there's the secret sauce at the end. Then it just fucked up like, when do people clap? Interesting little nuggets that most people don't care about, but we were like, okay, if we ever do an event again and we have an intro video, a trailer video, that's what we should do. Just think about those things. But event's cool. We pop that off, and then in comes Ray Dalio. And Belky, can you tell me really quick your favorite part of Ray Dalio on stage? Oh, I'm posing questions.
My favorite part was actually when he played his animation that we've already seen because it was for free on YouTube.
Oh, the leading question worked. Oh, it was free on YouTube.
We didn't plan that.
The best part, we didn't at all, actually.
It was actually so good. That piece is so good.
It's phenomenal. I'm like,
his voice is butter.
Right.
The animations are amazing. It's clear. It's slow. So good.
So I'm like, this should be everything. What are we doing here? Because that was an amazing 4 minutes, and I couldn't understand any of what was
for
going
the audio
on
listeners, this is like a 45-minute animated piece that Ray Dalio posted on YouTube about the changing world order, about his book from like a year-ish ago.
And these are amazingly produced. Like the research that goes behind it is now, it's like difficult to talk about. Like, speaking of why this was our favorite, it's like he's just talking for the rest of this thing and we can't like think abstract, like we can't see the visuals. Now it's just the best visuals on screen and we're all just like following along. This makes perfect sense. But then he goes back to talking.
Yeah, well, and I don't like, this is my point on like blowing smoke. So first of all, I think it's weird when somebody on stage makes a point and the entire crowd claps. I'm like, whoa, everybody thinks the same thing? There's no way. That's weird to me. The second reason I think it's blown smoke is Jason Calacanis got huge cheers for saying that Ray Dalio should run for president and like this, that, or the other. I'm like, Ray Dalio would never be president. It's like such a moot point. It's like he would never win the presidency.
It felt like Nazi Germany for a second.
Because of
just like He was just trying to like rally, like it was like a power grab or something. I'm like, why'd you have to go like the extra mile to be like, let's do this? I don't know. It felt weird, but that's fine, dude. I get it. Hey, dude, it was cool. Ray Dalio's a smart guy, but we didn't need to be there to listen to that. Really,
no, I'll tell you what though. You got Chamath asking him questions. He's like, so what do you think about the economic on a per parity basis of income distribution across? It's just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And then you got Jason Calacanis asking double questions. Every question he asks is a double question.
Don't do double
every
questions.
Every person is like, that's a lot of questions.
Every person.
Every single one.
It's like the number one rule of interviewing.
Don't ask 2 questions at a time.
One at a time.
And make it short and sweet.
You know the problem is there are 4 people on stage that all want to ask questions.
It's a lot of questions.
So you're like, there's a little bit of scarcity. It's like there are only going to be maybe 5 questions asked to the speaker. I want to get as many as possible, so I'm going to do double questions. But you really only get half.
Ask a double question, get half an answer. How about that?
So the format's just fucked. But that's fine, dude. It's cool. Like, people are in the room.
Yep.
I do want to say if there's ever an event, like last year with Palmer Luckey, that was like, I was happy to be there because that was just a surprise, like crazy, like the atmosphere. It was important to be there. Maybe like a sports game would be similar. But here you don't need the atmosphere. It's really just boring and it's 1X, which we struggle with.
And Elon's talk last year was very motivational because he was just getting into this Twitter stuff. And so it felt like you had to be there to get the temperature of the room, and like that was very cool.
I forgot about this, but what's interesting, like our day, we wake up, you work for a little bit, I just hang out in my bed, listen to pods, then we leave and we listen to My First Million together.
Best part of my day.
And it's like, it's amazing. It's like you get this talk, but on 2X, and you just like, you can react live time. Oh, this is what I was going to say. Feedback, dude.
The feedback loop? We've been talking about the feedback loop.
We've been talking about it a lot. Where's the feedback loop important? I think like these talks, maybe we're in the balcony, right? We're in the back of the classroom, and I was observing, because it's dark, the amount of lights down in the crowd. Like you can see people on their phones.
Okay. Oh, lights coming from their screens.
Right. So I'm using that as a proxy for how interested in the conversation people are. And I think the problem is there's just no feedback loop. Well, fuck, I had my notes and now I'm talking.
You're saying you saw a lot of lights?
I look at when I'm bored and then look how many lights there are, and when I'm engaged, how many lights there are.
Yeah.
And you can just like see the feedback, versus when you're in the crowd, like it's blind, or when you're on stage, you can't really see that.
Yeah, it was really interesting when I got bored to look around and just see the amount of people on their phones and their computers. I'm like, if I did an event like this, I would want it to be, and the guy who came up and talked about Midjourney and showed his video that he made for the summit, like,
yeah,
that was bare minimum captivating. But he actually had everyone's attention because he was doing slides with photos. The woman who came on before him just like, this
Peak
is how.
6.
Yes, but this is how not memorable it was. Like, I don't remember what her slides were, but they were just like boring words and numbers.
Her talk was like emotionally made me engaged, just because she was taking a point that I normally disagree with like heavy feminism stuff. But no, like Tim Urban last year was amazing because he was just all visuals on screen.
No, I liked her talk. It was just like an SNL skit. I think what she was saying is right, which was basically women, or girls really, aren't taught to take risk like boys are at a young age. I thought that was all fine, but it was just, dude, that one really felt like an SNL skit to me.
Yeah.
She just comes up, it was just so bizarre. It was so bizarre.
Yeah. Well, the whole time, so I'm thinking, like, how do we apply this to whatever we want to do in the future?
Great idea. Let's talk about it.
Anti-goal.
Okay.
Anti-goal is like this. I was even thinking, like, what would be on stage talking about? Like, is it just the goo with people? Like, do we want an auditorium with 2,000 people? Or do we want this thing I'm going to next, which is Andrew Wilkinson, 50 people in a room? I really like the idea of My First Million. What they did, we didn't go to it, but Jimmy, Mr. Beast, went to it. It was their...
He's our new friend.
He's my friend now. I didn't even say anything.
You missed the whole thing. You just got stuck in the cyclone. You were just like, look right, look left, and he was already...
I was trying to give my girlfriend attention, which is all she wants.
Let's dig into
low
that.
Bar. But,
let's dig into that.
And missed the coolest person I came here to talk to, other than Elon Musk. I want to meet him. But I like the event that they put on, which was a basketball boot camp. That was like, don't get distracted now. Basketball boot camp.
Yes.
Where you come for the sports, which
there he is.
Sean likes.
One track mind.
Well,
sports
we both like
girls.
Tennis. You don't really.
I like
really
sports.
Simple.
I like sports. I like bowling. I love to bowl.
Bowling's cool. That'd be actually a crazy
bowling
stupid
summit.
event, dude. A bowling summit, dude.
10 lanes, 100 people.
So I like the idea of doing a sports event that's smaller like this, and then I don't know if there's like a podcast in there or where it is, but what were you thinking? Like things you don't want in an event? And
yeah, this was so weird. Is last year we were like, oh my gosh, we would love to have a summit one day. Right. Either smart, not like whatever.
We hadn't been outdoors in like 3 years.
Maybe that's what it was. This year I'm like, definitely no. Definitely no. Also, just the amount of energy it takes to like put on a good event.
Oh, it's
like
sick.
The food
this
and the vendors
really
and the security, all of it. Then I was trying to channel you, which is like, what's the 80-20 of this? What's the 20% I can do to get most of the results of a summit? And I was like, some people who do it really right is like the Vlog Squad. They went on, and Smartlist, I think. Smartlist podcast went on a 10 podcast live tour.
Yeah.
I think that's great. You just sell tickets. You don't have the themed parties and like the late night things and the poker tables. You don't do any of that. They just sold tickets. A crowd of 2,000 came and watched them. The Vlog Squad, I think, is even more of the essence. They did basically a university tour.
Mm.
They just went and toured universities that already have the infrastructure. They've got your demographic pre-selected. You just get up on stage, do your little thing, and then Jim Jamboree, you get out of there.
Right.
For us, it could be fun to like do a Q&A, right? We don't take any. Well, we don't take any input. Like it's a very one-way street. This podcast.
I'm like, the whole idea of someone on stage always seemed crazy to me.
Well, that's what I thought was so weird. It's like, wow, 2,000 people are really sitting here watching these people on stage all day.
Right.
I also had that thought when I was in a spin class once, and I was like, whoa, we're human beings. There's 50 of us in this class, and we're just like following the leader. It was so bizarre to me.
Right. It felt very animalistic.
It's just like, it's so weird.
It felt like when they talk about like ancient Rome or Greece, when they have orators and So yeah, I don't know what it'll look like. Probably not like this. This is a big production. We want the 80-20. But
And that's a lesson for life. That's a lesson for all of life. Just 80-20 it.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't remember a thing from Wolfram's
talk.
Yeah,
so Steven, the speakers, to clarify, started with Ray Dalio. Then it was
Tobi.
the woman. Oh,
no,
Tobi.
Tobi from Shopify.
Oh, which is cool. He just had an accent, so I couldn't really follow half his stuff.
Yeah,
it's a bummer because I liked what he was saying when I did understand it.
Is he German or Dutch or
something, dude?
Something.
European.
I did like what he said. Like the guys were asking him, like, why don't you go vertical this? Why don't you do that? And he was like, our main quest is just this one thing. What you're describing would be a total side quest. We have no interest in doing that.
Yeah.
And one interesting thing I guess they did recently, I didn't even know any of this backstory, but like I guess they sold maybe Shopify logistics or delivery to Amazon Prime. And so now Amazon Prime is like fulfilling stuff for Shopify users. I might have this wrong, but the principle is good. And he's like, we're not going to be like, if our customers want the best thing on the market, if they want the best logistics on the market, they're going to go get that from Amazon Prime. We should just offer it to them. Like we should just help them get that so that it's not Shopify versus Prime. It's Shopify plus Prime. It's a positive sum game. Right. I feel like you don't hear many founders talking about that. It's just like, we're going to stay in our lane and we're happy to plug in basically better brands or better companies who have figured out these other problems.
It's just riskier.
Yeah, because it's in their hands.
Yeah. This is, okay, I forgot
Thought
this
that was
point,
cool.
But thinking about Mr. Beast and, okay, we're at this weird stage of like, we're good at content. Like, it's really kicking up, about to take off. We're like maybe a couple years behind Mr. Beast. Could be less, depending on what we do. But would Mr. Beast come to this conference and like network with people?
That's what I'm saying. All I need to do is be at home writing.
Yeah, which is all he did. He just shot videos and then he gets two Yantons like us to say.
We don't know Mark Manson because he's at the All In Summit.
Right.
We know Mark Manson because someone introduced us because he was a fan of our short form content. It's
Yeah.
like, that's the position you want to be in. You want to make epic stuff, and then that will pre-select for the people you want to meet.
And so I think networking is sick for anyone that's just not building. If you're building or creating anything, networking makes almost zero sense unless you're like somehow it's like a party you get invited to, which was the takeaway from last year's summit. There were a couple, but it was basically like you don't want to go to events you have to pay for, or like
that was the takeaway.
It was basically like Sax's party, infinitely better than going to the All-In
That's
Summit.
right. That's right. It
and
just
how do you get
sorts
invited?
For the wrong thing.
You do cool shit, right? You're sorting for money, which is like.
I think
easy
if your
to
business
fake.
is really relationship based, I think networking is good.
Yeah.
Because we've seen like this woman we saw last night, who's kind of David Sax's left-hand woman, right-hand woman, Jessica. Because we have a relationship with her, it's just like we just remember each other forever.
Right.
And if she ever needs anything in this video domain, she comes to us. And I think that's important.
But we met her at Sax's party.
We did meet her at Sax's party.
And hung out in a hot tub with her.
We met her on the... Look at that little Roomba go. Look at that.
Don't get distracted now.
We met her on Zoom first. Like, we took a couple
true.
meetings with her, so it was more relationship.
But it was, like,
based.
solidified when she was just drunk
Absolutely.
in a hot tub or something. We were just shooting the shit.
Absolutely. Now, I think it would make sense for us to do a lot more of that if we didn't have the opportunity cost, which is making content that reaches millions of people.
Right.
So, like, let's say we hire my brother, for instance. I think it would be great. I think his role is great for networking.
Right.
His archetype. But I'm just like, any minutes we spend networking, we're not creating content, which is the thing we're best at.
Right. Yeah. So what is that? Like the CEO is good to be here, or COO, but not like, I don't know what our, like not the Chief Keefs, whatever the hell we are.
Yeah, it's just if you're not like building. If you're not busy building.
But why then are these other people here? Like why? Well, Jimmy's a speaker.
I feel like a lot of the people you meet here are the salespeople. You know, when you start a company, typically you have a technical founder and you have a sales founder.
So all the salespeople just hang out.
This is all the salespeople.
Right.
Just mingling, doing all the relationships. The builders are back home, keeping everything online. That's my.
This
my
was
belief.
The event I'm going to next. It's Andrew Wilkinson. He was basically like, he's in Victoria, Canada. Didn't want to go to SF to sell all these big companies like a Shopify on using their product. So he's like, I don't want to do that. I just want to build at home in Victoria. I'm going to get salespeople to go to these events to network, and then I'm just going to get all the upside because they sell the product that I'm building at home.
Right.
It's like, oh, fuck, we really got to do that.
Yeah.
Because we're not meant to be here. We leave 10 minutes into a party.
We're not. I don't even know what we're going to do for the party tonight. We might just go see a friend. Although I kind of did want to go because it's at the Santa Monica Pier. It's probably a sick venue.
Okay.
But we might spend 10 minutes there. I will say, so I was dressed as James Bond last night, but not like tuxedo-faring James Bond.
Yeah.
I was dressed like Sean Connery, and you were dressed like James Bond when he gets out of bed.
Right. Bare minimum, dude. Jeans and a loose-fitting white shirt.
My point was, I actually got a really nice sweater. I'm really happy about that. So that's an unintended consequence of the party we didn't go to last night.
Didn't
I got
sell anybody, but got a
really
sweater.
nice turtleneck sweater.
Here, before we go to loot, I just want to make sure there are no threads left on this first half of the first day.
Well, this has been perfect timing so far. 29 minutes. This has been jam-packed with pessimism.
Yeah.
Which is my bad.
I feel bad.
I've become really pessimistic and jaded.
That's why I feel like
But it's because of the confirmation bias.
Yeah.
Some would say it is the way it is because of my beliefs prior to coming.
A couple things I realized. So, like our sales, this was a thing this morning. It's not super related to the talks, but like I realized this morning while I was just watching my pods, it's like, we're bad at networking, right? Why do we go here to sell networking? But like the best we've ever done in sales is when we just make clips and Sax shares them.
Yep.
It's like, here are the clips, send them to your entire audience. We'll do it for free because we're going to end up with like hundreds of thousands of views, and it's him retweeting you, and it's easy to like DM Henry Belcaster and be like, hey, can I get videos like this? And it's just the best distribution ever.
That's because it's a legitimate distribution trick to the right demographic.
Right.
Of ideal customer.
Right. It's all of these founders or people that run companies.
So we stopped doing it.
Right, which makes zero sense to me. Because I'm like, all we do is get one animator that likes this business stuff or politics or whatever. Like, they could like politics. Now you're just having an awesome animator do exactly what they want to do for free. We'll cover $1,500 a month or whatever it is, $2,000 a month. And now we just have infinite distribution. And the ROI is just insanity. So I was like, okay, we're clowning around, not doing what got us here in the first place. Because now I feel like we're washed up because we just like forget the fundamentals. Because we didn't care about the show anymore, so we suddenly like stopped.
Well, no, what it was is we would have to listen to whatever and select the clips.
Right.
And we stopped, as soon as our content hit, we stopped scrapping like that.
Right.
Because again, it was anytime we spent in production, finding clips and editing them and reviewing them was time not spent writing our own content.
Right. But we did try and set Sacks up directly with our editor. And for some reason, we shut that down. I think because we wanted to sell or something. But there are ways to hack this, but we just got lazy and like forgot about it. Yeah. Which I think is like immediately we could 2x our business if we just got back to that strategy. Because this event is like their brand is still unreal, and they still have the same access. And now more than ever, Sacks would probably love clips because he's just been like hasn't had them on Twitter in forever. So I think we get back to that.
Super true. Great FOD.
I might have one more. I might. One thing I did like. Speaking of Tobi Lütke on stage of Shopify.
You know he's got an umlaut on there.
I didn't know how to pronounce that, dude.
Just umlaut. Umlaut.
They were joking about, like, Jason wearing Loro Piana, or whatever it's called. And actually the CEO is here, but not like we're going to talk to him. And then Chamath is talking about, like, oh, how nice these shoes are. But then you look at Tobi, and Tobi's just wearing $60 shoes from his Shopify site, or, like, whoever he bought it off. Like, damn, dude, the richest person there just doesn't give a fuck. That's why I loved Palmer Lucky last year. He just shows up in chonks, like chancleta, like flip-flops. Basically what I'm wearing now, just super loose.
Shorts and Hawaiian
short.
Looked horrible. But
looks terrible, but like he doesn't give a fuck because he's won the game. He doesn't care. And
what's Tobi worth?
I respect that.
So Shopify's worth $90 billion, public company.
If he was a founder, then he's
20%.
Couple bill.
Yeah. Depends what he's got left.
I just love to see that. That was like when we went to Sax's party, and Bill Gurley, one of the speakers, not supposed to say who was there, but he was there, and he was just walking around Shoeless Joe Jackson everywhere.
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
I'm like, fuck, dude, I love that.
Wait, who was isn't Shoeless Joe? Whoop. Nope, Sid Finch. I'm thinking of Sid Finch.
Huh.
You know Sid Finch?
No.
Okay.
Oh, dude, way to contribute.
Gardelude!